This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Welcome, listeners. I'm your host, Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this 15-book series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host, Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's acting as my tour guide on this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Aaron Kirkwood, Andre the Man in White, and Chad Welsh. And before we get into things today, we want to thank and welcome Zaira and Rosario Pabon to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. So thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 45 and 46 of The Shadow Rising.
Yeah, so chapter 45, we have The Tinker's Sword, and chapter 46 is Veils.
Yeah, so these chapter titles are actually really straightforward.
Yeah, they really are. I would like to rename chapter 45, Perrin's Got a Good Fucking Plan, because he's got a terrible plan. It's no plan. It's a bad plan.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll get into it.
But
yeah, he says he doesn't like having to think quickly.
And yeah, we can see why.
Yeah. It's not a strength. It's not a strength. I think right now, even though he's like really, really avoiding this whole Taviran thing, I think that almost subconsciously he's super relying on that to just like give him the right answers somehow.
He started his sentence and he just hoped he found himself along the way. It's not going well.
No.
It's so funny. Okay. And then Veils. Yeah, we'll talk about Veils when we get there. But anyways, it's a whole lot of stuff that happens in these chapters.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it's some stuff that happens, for sure.
Yeah, near the end of each chapter, stuff happens.
So stuff happens.
So,
okay.
Okay. So I'm going to start us off with a fun fact, and I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you remember back in The Eye of the World, in chapter 13, we first got introduced to the tale of Mara and the Three Foolish Kings.
I do remember that, actually.
Remember the name? Awesome. Okay. Yeah. We've heard it a few times, and we also heard, like, it's Egwene's favorite story because Mara uses her, like, intellect and wit to, you know...
And also goes adventuring, or that's why she likes Jane Foster?
Yeah, she likes
anyway,
Mara. But that's not the point. The important part is I talked briefly about the reference to Mara, who, in Buddhism lore, Mara is a demon who tries to seduce Buddha. So, since Mara is associated with temptation, Mara the demon, and the opposite of enlightenment, which Buddha was trying to achieve.
Of course.
And then pacifism is a core belief in Buddhism, so like not fighting, do no violence, which has strong roots in the Way of the Leaf.
Yeah.
It suggested that in this chapter, based on what we see Aram do with his actions, with the whole picking up the sword, and we'll talk about it, it suggested that Aram is quite possibly a reference to Mara, because Mara spelled backwards is Aram.
So I have to tell you, I recently found that Aram is not the way you're supposed to pronounce it.
That's fine. Aram?
Yeah.
Aram? Yeah. There's a whole lot of speculation. Yeah. But anyways, and a glossary definition. But so the whole point is that Aram fails to turn the temptation away and then abandons enlightenment, which is the Way of the Leaf.
Okay.
So Mara, Aram, it's all connected.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right from the first that we met that guy, he was wavering.
He was. He's the, a little bit too angry guy. We can get in. We should talk about this later when we see him do his things.
Yes, we should. You're right.
Yeah.
I like that real world connection.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's like a little one, but it's good.
Yeah. Okay. So getting into the book now, last time, Perrin had been healed, but is still very weak.
Yeah.
Loyal and Gull have gone off on their own buddy cop movie that we're probably never going to get to see.
But hopefully, maybe.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Because it's just too cool. Of course, right? Like,
yeah, that's a spin-off series. They get their own show.
Maybe. So there were Trollocs that tried to attack Emmons Field, and Perrin sat on a horse, and all the people of the Two Rivers, who are now basically in Emmons Field, used their bows and beat the Trollocs, and all praised Perrin, who sat up on a horse and did nothing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Also catapults.
Catapults.
Yeah.
Also, and maybe some Aes Sedai rock blowing up.
The catapults.
Yeah.
They were doing something with that.
Maybe.
We don't know the full story.
Yeah, I think that maybe just like rocks on impact just explode.
Okay.
Like, I don't even actually, when I was editing that episode, we went on this whole tangent about what happened with the rocks. And then I was thinking...
Well, it made it seem like they were blowing up into, like, bigger explosions of, like,
not
rock
really.
stuff, so...
Not really. I think it's more than... We're making it out to be more than it actually is.
Okay, I like that too. I
Anyway.
like that theory.
Anyway, so now something or someone is coming into the village. Perrin thinks it's Trollocs.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You did not.
I speculated White Cloaks.
Yeah.
And I wasn't all wrong.
No, you were wrong. I mean, I hate to be that guy,
no,
but
you
like...
don't. You love to be that guy. You love to tell me I'm wrong all the time.
You're not wrong in the sense that we do get to see White Cloaks, but the
White Cloaks are coming.
They
I
are.
speculated that the White Cloaks were coming, and they come. Not
True.
at the time, I think.
The disturbance...
That's why it's half. That's why it's half.
Okay, half points.
Thank you. God, I hate having to fight for those half points.
I'm just saying, it's like the disturbance that he thought it was isn't the White Cloaks, it's the fact that they're
no,
shooting at
but
tickers,
my theory that
which
the
is
White
funnier.
Cloaks are coming
is right.
is
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Gosh. Okay.
Half points.
So, chapter 45, we get the Tinker's sword, because Tinker picks
Tinker.
up a sword.
Tinker with a sword.
Yeah. So, we also get the White Cloak sunburst.
Yes.
And that's when I thought, aha, I
I'm
know
right,
I'm going to
yeah.
be right. We're going to see the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
So, Perrin's perspective continues. Perrin and Fael rush to the south where all the noise and rabble is coming from.
Yeah, yeah.
Some asshole Coplins and Congers are all congregated. I guess they weren't at the Trolloc fight.
No, they weren't. So they were guarding that border. That was the thing.
They were all just like standing over there. We're going to watch over here while you guys do the fighting.
Well, I mean, there's logic to like
I guess.
watching your sides. Like I get
Fair.
that.
Okay.
So
And they think that they've just fought off Trollocs too.
yeah,
I
they're
don't-
having a big old celebration right now.
Oh man.
And it's funny because Perrin comes in and he smells only excitement and no fear.
Yeah.
And that, like that's the first tip off that like that's bad.
Yeah, he also smells liquor on one of the old dudes.
Billy.
Billy.
Friggin' Billy, right?
Yeah, so Perrin notices that this crew weren't shooting at Trollocs. It was actually a bunch of tinkers.
Oh no. It's
So,
so
like,
sad.
It probably took so much for those tinkers to try to seek some refuge
It's sad.
at the village,
Yeah.
and they're coming up to the village, and then they're like getting
Not just
shot
that,
at.
but like after they got massacred
yeah, by Trollocs.
by Trollocs, it's like
Yeah.
now they're getting shot at. So
And after they didn't want to go to the village because they've always been told, like in their heads, villages are unsafe
yeah, so it's all bad.
and violent. And
Yeah.
then they're coming up to the village.
Oh, okay. I should stop laughing so much. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay. So Perrin calls to them as they approach. You're welcome. You'll be safe now. Disregard these morons.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay. Perrin notices that there are very few numbers among the Tinkers.
Yeah.
Only about 20 of them, but there's like children and women
Yeah.
and some dudes.
It's not good.
No. But Rain, Isla, and Aram are here. They're among them.
Aram.
Aram. So their bright clothes are all dirty and torn, and Perrin thinks that he should have made them come.
Shoot. You know,
Shoot.
and it is really sad because we talked about this, and was it like the whole Taviranus, maybe they don't need to come here, but it just ends up that they all got killed. Or like, most of them got murdered by
Yeah,
Trollocs.
I think the fact that they're coming here at all is Perrin's Taviran pull.
Like, some of them got saved? Are you
That
saying?
any of them are
Okay.
coming, because I could imagine, maybe not in this day and age, really, unless they happen to be like in Kyrian right now, where there's a bunch of bandits anyway.
Sure, yeah.
I would say that typically they're left alone
Okay.
for the most part,
Okay.
and so maybe this particular band of Tinkers, what are they called? Group
Sure.
of Tinkers.
Yeah. Just go with it.
No,
Yeah.
just go with it. Okay, maybe they haven't really had to deal with being attacked and violence and stuff like that
Okay,
before.
that's fair.
Maybe.
Well, probably not to the level of Trollocs and, like,
Definitely-
indiscriminate killings, so...
Definitely not that.
Yeah. With no dogs to help and all
Right,
that, too,
so when Perrin was originally telling them, come to the village, you'll be safe, I thought it was going to work. I
Yeah,
thought it was going to be the Taviran thing, and it didn't work. And so now that they're showing up now, instead of just trying to, like, go on their way somehow,
Mhm.
they're coming to the village
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Perrin, because
Okay.
Perrin told them to, right?
Yeah.
No?
No, I
They
mean,
probably don't
yeah.
have any wagons. They probably have literally nothing.
They have next to nothing right now, so it's not good. It's a bad situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see the some Taviranus pulling them, so yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay. So then we get some, like, hate speech from some of the Two Rivers folk.
Yeah, like a page of it. It's
They'll
not good.
steal our children and take our jobs.
It's just like, it's so ingrained in them to like hate the Tinkers because they steal children
And
or
they've
whatever.
never even met Tinkers. Like, Tinkers have never even been this far south in the Two Rivers before.
Yeah, well, I mean, they know the
They
Tinkers.
know of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like maybe a few times, but the whole point is even circumstances being like, there's Trollocs, you just got attacked. You know they're not doing good, and you're still gonna spew this like
Well,
terrible...
these are the assholes. These are the complainer Congers and Coplins, right?
They are, but they're also backed up by like a bunch of the people.
Oh, yeah, because all the rest of the people have come.
Everybody's come over now, and it's like, it's all bad. It's all bad.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Perrin puts them straight.
Yeah.
Fael gives Perrin a look like his Taviraness made the Two Rivers folk accept the Tinkers. Perrin is like, God, no! I hate that so much.
That's not what it is.
Yeah. So Rain is in some serious shock.
Yeah.
They probably fought back a little bit.
Hold on.
Yeah. I think that they fought back a little bit, and that's why he's like super shooken.
Really?
Shook? He's super shook.
Okay, hold up. We got to put this on record here.
I don't want to talk more about this. Okay. Do you want me to...
You're gonna tell me that they fought back even against Troll, like these
I think
super
they tried.
pacifist, like,
yeah,
you are not with us anymore. I'm gonna abandon you if you pick up a sword and do violence at
yeah.
all.
Well, we've talked about this before.
Okay.
The fight or flight,
Yeah.
amygdala response.
Sure.
When you're faced with danger, your beliefs go out the window,
Sure.
and your animalistic hindbrain takes over,
Okay.
and you don't have any logical thought.
So I get that because I
Mhm.
get that, like, that side of it. But in this book, do you think that that's going to be a factor?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Robert Jordan.
So you think Rain fought back against Trollocs?
Yeah, I think that's why he's having such a hard time right now.
Not that he just saw like
well, yeah, also
3/4 of
well,
his
and
like
his daughter and all this stuff. Like
his family got murdered.
everything got
Yeah.
like that part's bad. But
Okay.
also he's having this like ridiculous complex of conscience.
Yeah.
I think because he tried to fight back.
That's a big thing.
I think that's what happened.
Okay.
That's my feeling.
We got to like put a big star beside that because that's big. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he goes, the way of the leaf is the right way.
Yeah.
So either he fought back or some other people fought back. And he's like, the reason why he's saying this
Sure.
is because he's trying to remind himself that this was right. This is the right way, even though.
Or
he did some
third
fighting.
option, this is the right way, even though I just let 3/4 of my people get murdered indiscriminately.
Yeah, that actually does make sense.
We've seen that before.
I like
in
my
the Tinker
version
columns.
better, though.
I like your version better too because that means that they're going to put up a fight against Fades and Trollocs. Like I like that way better.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we saw that in the Aiel glass columns where the Tinkers are willing to just let their family be kidnapped.
Yeah.
And they just do nothing because that's just the way.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right.
I mean, big prediction time.
Yeah,
so,
okay. So Isla tells what happened here. So Trollocs came last night. Their dogs might have helped them escape, but they were dead because the children killed them. So essentially, the children of the light killed these Tinkers.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Now, Perrin looks out and sees different, like, plumes of smoke in the distance. Other farms that were hit. And he thinks, oh, like, he's trying to piece together whose farm was whose.
He's trying to do, like, battle tactics. Yeah. I'm okay with like, this Perrin trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and I did have a little bit of speculation about what happened here.
Okay.
And if this was truly just Trollocs going from farm to farm to farm to Tinker Camp, just, like, raiding and pillaging.
Okay.
Or if this was, like, directed attacks, like, if this is a Fane,
a
Fane thing, or... what? Because we know that Fane is controlling at least one Fade now.
Yeah.
Right? So...
the one he kidnapped.
yeah, Fane is definitely doing something here.
Okay.
There were cover-ups when Fane did some stuff and they blamed it on Trollocs. So, like, I don't know. It just seems a little...
too neat, man. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Maybe not neat's the right word, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Something is at play here.
Something's happening because they were literally... last night, a bunch of these Trollocs attacked, and then right in first thing in the morning, Trollocs attack Emmons Field in huge numbers.
Yeah, so okay.
I don't know. There's something to put together here. I just can't figure it out.
Something strange is going on.
That's a good way to put it. So Perrin thinks that, okay, now it's time to go after Gall and Loyal now that Fail is preoccupied with helping the people.
Off we go.
Off we go.
Off Perrin goes.
Nope. Master Luhan goes, Perrin, I need your help. And he goes, I can't blacksmith. I haven't done it in a year. I probably am not that good. And he's probably thinking, oh, I'd love to blacksmith right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if you need me, okay. And Bran? No,
Master Luhan.
Master Luhan. Do we get it for
Harold?
Harold. Yeah, Harold. Yeah. Goes, what? No.
Not blacksmith.
I don't need you to blacksmith. I need you to get these people out of here. They're bothering me.
Go away.
And Perrin's like, you need me to tell them to go away?
So this is the chapter of Perrin gets sent on menial side quests.
Yeah, because then my next point of notes is we get 12 pages of Perrin helping people with things that they actually don't need any help with.
Yeah, menial side quests. It's like literally what it is. But I mean, there's stuff we can talk about the reasoning.
It's basically a bunch of people stopping him from leaving.
That's what I was gonna say. So is this like the pattern is doing its best to like stop Perrin from leaving, or is this like I
think that might be part of it, but I also think that this is the first time that Perrin has been up and about.
Yes.
And like looking relatively healthy.
So is this like a Fail's actually correct in her assessment at the end of this chapter where she's like, You're the king. They're the king. They're trying to figure it out. So right now they're bothering you with a bunch of shit because they don't know.
They want it to be done his way. And we get that when the lady is like, where should the kids play? And Perrin's like, I don't fucking know.
Come on.
Yeah, don't you know? And she's like, of course I know. I just want to make sure we're doing it the way you want it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Why?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, all in all, it's kind of funny. Like, we don't need to necessarily go into each. I did a quick summary.
I know. I bet you did. We don't need to go into any of them, actually.
I like the one, my favorite is the guy who can't make enough hoops for the buckets and barrels.
Oh, yeah.
It's just...
Or, how are we going to warn the people if there's another attack?
Yeah.
Blow this horn.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Yeah.
It's funny. It's good.
It was okay.
And then also, just side note...
Oh, Daniel and Ban following him around with his banner.
That's so funny, too.
Because Tam had told war stories.
Yeah.
And, like, army stories.
He's got, like, the companions and the alien thing that he's going with. So,
yeah, and then Perrin's like, I can't believe Tam would do this to me.
Yeah, so... It's all kind of comical. Like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So, then we get stupid Luke showing up.
Yes, and we couldn't remember the whole hair color thing last time.
I have to tell you, I cut that out.
Okay, so for people who didn't know or didn't get to...
No, editing Danny had to make an appearance last time because...
we had 25 minutes of...
Brett and Tyler had Lord of the Rings shots and went on a big tangent.
But we did talk about, we couldn't remember exactly what color hair Luke had.
Yeah, it's blonde.
It's golden hair, so...
Yeah, so anyways, we get Stupid Luke showing up. That's his new nickname.
Stupid Luke?
Stupid Luke.
Okay.
And he has got a Murdral head with him.
Yes.
That he jabs on a spike.
Yeah.
And sticks in the ground for everyone to see.
No better way to show him who's boss.
And I wrote...
Put their head on a stick.
What the heck? Like, what?
Okay, but there's big things we got to talk about here. Because besides the whole Luke being super condescending to Perrin and being like, hey man,
patronizing.
you got beginner's luck and all that. But you have this whole thing you've got a hate on for Luke.
Yeah.
You think he's a dark friend.
Well, it's written for me to not like him. He's not a likable character.
That's the point. So did Luke actually kill this Fade? Is he seriously a dark friend? Or do we like just not like him?
Yeah, I don't like him for sure. But
that's fair.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a dark friend.
Okay.
Number 2, in my notes, I have, he tells everybody, he just happens to mention that, on my travels, I just I ran into a band of Trollocs, and I had to kill the Fade and the Trollocs.
Sure.
And it just seems a little unrealistic to me.
Okay.
That he just, like, on his own, just kills a band of Trollocs
Okay.
and a Fade.
So maybe a little bit
And
of...
then takes its head.
Maybe a bit of puffing, but here's the thing. When we first saw that really arrogant hunter for the horn that Fail knew...
He was actually good.
He was good, and she was like, I actually saw this guy beat like 4 or 5 guys in single like, he was good, even though he's a pompous dick.
Yeah.
So there's that whole, like, maybe Luke...
there's something super sketchy about
Maybe
this.
it wasn't a band of Trollocs. Maybe it was literally he came across one Fade and happened to beat it.
Where's one Fade wandering around by themselves?
I'm just saying, you
Going
have
for
a
coffee?
hate on.
Like, no.
So then, if he is a dark friend, what's the rationale for like killing one of your Fades? Like, those seem kind of like important units to keep.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I have an important note about Luke specifically later in this chapter.
Okay, so
and we'll get to it then. We'll come back to it. Because this is where Luke tells Perrin he has beginner's luck for winning against the Trollocs and is super patronizing.
Yeah.
So as soon as Luke leaves, Perrin buries the Fade head, and he's like, I don't want people to be looking at this crap.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that's probably fair too, so.
Yeah. So Perrin tries to go off to get some food in the inn. People continue to harass him, and he thinks, what's wrong with these people? I'm just the blacksmith's apprentice.
Yeah.
It's like, when? When is he going to drop this? Like, when is it going to actually... This reminds me of Rand not coming to terms with the whole Dragon Reborn thing for so long.
In another 4 books, so like by book 8...
I'd say that Rand came to terms with it in book 3.
Okay, so by book, 7?
Yeah, 7.
7, Perrin will be there.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
He's not hasty.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Except right now.
Right. Okay. So he finally gets to go get some food and not have people jabbering in his ear, and he feels super wary and thinks that Fail was probably right.
Shoot.
Shouldn't have gone after Loyal and Gaul. Good thing he stayed.
Yeah, and it is a good thing, because he's not doing good.
Right. So in the common room of the inn, we have Aram here.
Yeah.
Being sort of coddled a little bit by Matt's sisters.
Yes, which is kind of funny too.
He's good. He's a good-looking guy.
He is. Maybe handsomer than Will Alcine.
Whoa!
Coming from Perrin.
That's good looking.
Who, like, hates Will.
For being good-looking.
And smiling too much.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
Hey, Aram is a good-looking guy.
Okay, cool.
Ram.
So Fail enters, and she's been baking. And I had to put this in, because this is so funny. She's never baked bread before. She's like, it's actually kind of fun. Yeah. And then Perrin goes, well, where are we going to get our bread if you don't bake it?
Yeah, it's like, Perrin, maybe you should learn how to cook some fucking bread.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and he says, I don't want to spend my life traveling around and buying it. Yeah. But what I got out of that, instead of him being like, misogynistic or whatever. Yeah.
Like all that stuff.
What I got out of it is there's this underlying conversation that they're going to spend their lives together.
There is that conversation.
And she looks pleased about it.
Okay. Because it's like, hey, committed relationship.
It sounds that way.
I get that.
It sounds that way. But she goes, well, if I don't bake bread, the cook will do it.
The cooks will do it, yes.
Duh.
And then Perrin's like, yes, the cooks. Why didn't I think of that?
It's good.
Yeah. But I mean, again, playing it back to whole Perrin's, like, his upbringing, the housewives, quote unquote, are the ones who bake the bread. So,
I mean, yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. So, Perrin and Fael have a conversation because Perrin is concerned about the whole Golden Eyes situation getting a little out of hand, and Fael thinks that the Two Rivers folk are just trying to figure out how to act with a king. Yeah. And that's what we were talking about before.
So it kind of seems like she's actually correct. Like, she gets that.
Yeah. And then we get a philosophical debate about the necessity of leaders and rulers.
We do. And there's some good points.
Yeah, because even in the Two Rivers, there's the mayor, there's the village council, there's the women's circle.
Yeah.
There are groups of leaders who make the decisions.
It's a good thing to have elected officials that help guide, people where they should be going. Yeah. And it's the whole, like, even tinkers have a purpose. Like, I understand that debate.
Right. Okay. So, Aram... is wandering around the place, looking and inspecting all the weapons.
Yes, the jumble of assorted weaponry.
That's, like, all over the place.
Everywhere.
And he asks, like, suddenly, who owns these? And Perrin thinks to himself, oh no, Aram must feel so uncomfortable with all these weapons around. But I think not, mostly because I know the title of this chapter.
Yeah. You have an
advantage. He goes, Aram, don't worry. No one will hurt you with them.
Okay, but also good on Perrin because we know how much he hates Aram.
That's, like, sensitive.
He's being nice to Aram even though he doesn't like him that much.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, good for that.
Yeah. And so, at this point, Fael feeds him, and she indulges him.
Perrin. Yeah, she's feeding Perrin.
She's feeding Perrin, not Aram.
The same way that the girls fed Aram.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird. And it goes on for a long time.
Too long.
So, Aram is still wandering around the room 3 times before he stops at the barrel of swords at the foot of the stairs.
That's the one.
That's the one that they fell into and knocked everywhere, and Tyler was like...
And didn't die.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is there a barrel of swords at the foot of the stairs? This seems like bad placement.
Seems like great placement now.
Anyway, Aram stops, and he picks up a sword.
Oh, dang!
One with a wolf head pummel.
Huh?
Okay. A little interesting little foreshadow there. Maybe.
Of what?
I don't know. It's like a whole wolf thing. I have no idea.
Is it like a...
Isla's like, when she sees... We'll get to it.
Like a Perrin connection?
A Perrin connection.
Okay, I get that.
I don't know. I feel like Perrin should have the wolf head pummel sword. But
Perrin
he doesn't have
use
a sword.
Yeah.
Jinx. Okay. Just kidding. Okay, so he picks up the sword and says, can I use this one? And I, in my notes, say that this is the worst of the weapons for the Aiel/Jen/Tinkers.
It's great. And it's like full circle. Awesome.
And then I went, why is it the worst? And then I remembered it's because it has no other
use. Yes.
There's no other purpose at all. Like a spear can be used for like meat and hunting or whatever.
That's like literally the thought process.
Yeah, but a sword, nothing.
Which is also saying something about what Aram wants to do. We kind of get his intentions.
He wants to hurt Trollocs and people.
Wants vengeance.
Wants violence.
Yeah, he wants the violence. And I'm on board for this.
I know you are.
Yes.
Okay, so just then, for excellent plot timing.
Yep.
Isla comes down the stairs with Alana after being healed. Yeah. Or at least trying to heal Rain.
Yeah, something's going on.
Yeah, Rain can't be healed right now. It's shock of the mind, which can't be healed.
Yep.
And then she sees Aram with the sword, and their reaction is, as we can expect, poor.
No.
She tries to grab the sword, like, away from him. She's begging him to put it down. She's, like, crying. She's screaming.
There's still time. Put it down.
It's so bad. Yeah. And Aram says that his mother was killed, and he could have saved her if he had a sword, and this hits too close to home for Perrin.
Yep.
So he comes to Aram's defense. Any man has the right to defend himself, and Aram wants Perrin to teach him how to use it.
Yeah, so just going into a little bit of like the nitty-gritty stuff of what's going on here, this is so similar to the flashbacks that we saw, specifically of the Tinkers. Like, the exact same conversation happened when they returned from rescuing the girls.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they're like, you're lost to me. Get out of here. I don't have a son anymore.
Yeah.
After he just, like, saved his family. And he's like, I'm still Aiel. And we kind of get that happening
that's the separation.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get that happening again in this chapter, so.
Yeah.
It was Lewin, yeah. So same vibe.
So Isla goes off, says that Trollocs took her daughter and all her grandchildren but one, and now Perrin has taken that one from him.
Yeah.
From her.
Yeah.
And Aram is lost because of you, Perrin.
So this is kind of like, and again, this is the whole, like, controversy behind it, is that Isla's rejecting Aram, even though he's like, I saw my family get slaughtered, and I want to go and, like, learn how to protect people going forward.
And myself, and you, and...
Yeah, and Isla's saying, get the hell out of here, you're not, I don't know you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, how harsh is this?
And blaming Perrin
for this action.
Aram's, like, independent thought process.
Yeah, and just, like, supporting him, like, hey, he can defend himself if he wants to, so... Yeah. I'm all ahead of, like, let's get Isla out of here.
I know.
I got no time for this.
I know.
So
Alana and Fael are watching this situation. Perrin tells Aram to go find Tam, because he'll teach Aram how to use the sword.
Good advice. He's like, I don't know how to use this one.
Yeah.
It's not like a multi-purpose. I know
No,
every
I can tell you how to swing a battle hammer, but...
like
a battle axe.
Like that.
Like that.
I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. Just, like, swing around.
Yeah.
Good.
I prefer the General Grievous.
my gosh, that's funny. I like that. Okay. So then, after this whole scene, Bran shows up to tell Perrin that riders have come from the north, probably White Cloaks.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, everyone starts to head to meet them, and here they are. This is where they are.
Yeah.
Partial points.
And this whole thing lasts like a page.
Yeah. So
description of it.
Yeah. So there are 2 wagons blocking the road, and there are armed men waiting for the arrival of the White Cloaks.
Yes.
We can defend ourselves.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, White Cloaks. So Perrin smells that all these like armed men are super excited. And it's like,
don't be.
Stop
okay.
it. And so Perrin thinks that these White Cloaks have come to arrest him and hang him, but he does not intend on going with them.
Yeah. So, I mean, especially when we get into this whole, like, what is said, he does recognize one of the White Cloaks because he's met them, obviously, before. So, yeah.
Well, one of them.
One of them. Yeah,
So, exactly, because Perrin thinks that Dane looks familiar because of...
He knows Jeffrem. He saw Jeffrem before, so Jeffrem and Dane, so...
And then Perrin takes his place beside Bran, the mayor. He keeps on thinking, Bran's the mayor.
Bran's the mayor, that's the thing.
Yeah, and so then Luke, stupid Luke, appears to meet the White Cloaks.
Yeah,
with them.
Stupid Luke comes out of nowhere.
Dane Bornhold introduces himself to everyone and wants to know why Emond's Field is closed to the children.
Yeah, so this is important, though, because Dane knows that Emond's Field is closed to the children, so it seems like Luke did in fact meet those children to, like, do that stupid meeting and be like, you can't come here.
Remember how I said I had a note about Luke?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that right
this
now?
This is right now.
Okay.
So
excellent.
while I was reading for the first time,
okay,
and while I was reading back to chapter 33 to find out if Luke was in fact a Borderlander or what was up with that.
Yes.
So I read back while I was editing to put in a note to say that Varen said his name sounded Borderlandy.
Yeah.
Okay. So enter the all-important scribbled on post-it note.
Oh my god, what is it?
It is the post-it note of notes.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't read your writing. What does it say?
Yeah, it's a scribbled mess, and the pen was sort of dying, and anyway. So, when we first met Luke...
Okay.
When Perrin first met him, he says, I have no love for the White Cloaks, or did you not hear, they want to hang me. He told Luke that.
Yes.
And he thought it was like a point of like pride almost.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm telling you, believe me that I'm not on any White Cloak side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Luke clearly does not like Perrin. And my whole theory about him being a dark friend and something going on between this guy and like also possibly Slayer, like there's something happening.
Okay.
Involving Perrin for some reason and also dark friends.
Okay.
Okay. So.
It's very well thought up.
I think that Luke knows now the White Cloaks want him dead, and Luke wants Perrin dead. So I'm still on board. I'm still believing that Luke orchestrated the messed up Trolloc attack, where Gull thought they were coming from one way and they came from the other way.
Okay.
I still think that that was Luke's direction.
Okay.
Because he was the only one who knew of their plan.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's very suspicious.
It works out. Luke then finds out that Perrin didn't die.
Yeah.
Then he goes to tell the White Cloaks, you can't come to Emond's Field, it's closed, knowing very well that the White Cloaks will ride directly for Emond's Field to say, what the fuck do you mean we can't come here?
Okay.
And
because,
he knows the White Cloaks want to hang Perrin.
Okay.
So this is his new plan to get Perrin dead.
Okay. And it's not like Luke told the White Cloaks that Perrin was in Emond's Field.
No, they didn't.
Because Dane is very surprised, and Bayar is very surprised that Perrin's here. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this is Luke's newly orchestrated plan, because why would he tell, like, they haven't been to Emond's Field.
Yeah. It all doesn't make very much sense.
Why would he go and be like,
okay.
Go tell them they can't come here. Unless it's to get them to come here.
I like it.
That's the plan.
And if that was the plan...
That's what the scribbled on post-it note says.
In fewer words. So.
Yeah.
Okay. But if that was the plan, it did work because they are now here.
Yes, that's
So.
what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So Perrin notes that this is Dane and not Jeffrem and figures it must be his son or something.
Makes sense.
It doesn't make much difference because Dane meets Perrin's gaze, sees his golden eyes.
Yeah.
And he he goes into like convulsion.
He's like,
hatred, anger, and also is drunk.
Also, because Perrin can smell the brandy fumes.
And his glazed over eyes.
And we got to see that little bit of a decline in Dane drinking brandy, because at the beginning of this book, Dane was like, I don't like to touch...
the beginning of when we met the White...
Yeah. It was like, Dane doesn't like to drink brandy, and then it's like, he started to like go reach for the brandy.
He's drinking.
So...
Yeah. Okay. So, Perrin definitely recognizes Byar.
Yep. Yeah, Byar's the zealot, overzealous one. So.
Yeah. And the one who we ended up having a really long conversation about, and we, in season 1, talking about Eye of the World, went and classified sociopath versus psychopath, and which one is Byar.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Where do we land on that? I don't remember that.
I think psychopath.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I'll have to know.
I don't remember the conclusion of everything that we talk about.
I know, it's so funny.
Okay.
Okay, so before Bran speaks, he looks to Perrin for a nod, which Bornhall doesn't miss. He sees it. And then Bran tells the White Cloaks that Emmonsfield isn't exactly closed to them. They've just decided to defend themselves and did so just this morning.
Look at all the dead Trollocs.
And smell them.
Yes,
smell them
all over the place.
Yeah. So Dane tells the Emmonsfielders that one of the villages of the Two Rivers has been basically wiped out by Trollocs.
This is so funny.
And they all start going, oh my god, was it Watch Hill?
Oh no.
Was it Devon's Ride? We have friends there.
And he's like, yeah, it's Terran Ferry.
And they're all like, oh, who cares?
Oh no. Yeah. What a bad...
No one gives a shit.
We are so upset about this fact that Terran Ferry is wiped out.
Oh my god, it does not have the effect that Dane thought even at all. Would.
So it's funny in a really terrible.
It's hilarious.
Way. It's great.
So funny. It's great. So Dane says that he lost 50 good soldiers over there. And they're
not gonna they don't care about that either.
They don't care at all. Yeah. But mostly what I want to know is like why? What happened? Is this Fane? Is he doing something?
Okay.
Because he wanted news to get out.
Yeah.
Right? And Dane really didn't want news to get out because he doesn't want to deal with the Queen's Guard.
Yes.
Because he's like fucking around in Andor and he doesn't quite know.
Yeah.
So the only thing about Terran Ferry being hit, I'm thinking, is that he wants, like, if this is Fane orchestrating that, it's because he wants news to travel.
It opens up the ability for news to get out
because Fane still doesn't know that Perrin's here. And he wants Perrin here.
Interesting.
Right? Didn't he say that? He wants Perrin here. Oh, he wants Rand here.
Yeah, he wants Rand. He wants all of them.
He wants all of them back here. He's looking for all of them.
He knows one of them is here. He knows it's not Rand.
Right. Yeah, and he wants Rand.
He knows it's either Perrin or Rand.
So that's the only thing I could, put together. It's shaky, but...
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's pretty good logic. And the next things that happen with the whole Luke and Dane conversation kind of play into that too. Like, what was the actual, what happened?
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's sort of weird too that Luke knows of Fane. Everyone seems confused about that. Perrin seems confused about it. Dane seems confused about it.
It's not that surprising. This is the whole thing. It's not that surprising that Luke knows about Fane because Luke has spent time with the Emmonsfielders. And Fane is a guy who was Emmonsfield's merchant, peddler, for literally...
Years, yeah.
Years.
Yeah, I know.
And then comes back with the White Cloaks as this crazy guy and calls himself Ordeath and doesn't associate with the name Fane anymore. So I can see the villagers talking about Fane being this crazy guy named Ordeath now, and Luke picking up on that. Maybe. Again, playing into the whole, if he's not a dark friend, he's not an idiot either.
Okay.
Luke's not stupid.
Okay. Yeah, because he asked Dane if Ordeath was in Terran Ferry last night. And Perrin is surprised, and Dane is surprised, and then we don't really get anything. We get an angry conversation about Ordeath because Dane hates that Ordeath is even here.
They hate each other, and we're pretty sure Fane's trying to kill Dane.
And Luke has seen Ordeath here and there, and he looks like this sort of fellow that a Trolloc attack would happen around.
So, do you remember what happened with her last instance in Tel'aran'rhiod about the whole renegade situation?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do have that. You know what's interesting? The first time I read it, I
Yeah.
thought about that situation, about the Slayer talking about some renegade with the White Cloaks who had to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And
You initially thought that was Dane?
yeah, but then you convinced me
It doesn't
with
really
logic.
fit. Yeah.
You convinced me with logic that it's most likely Fane.
Yeah, it doesn't really make
because
sense.
he's the complication.
Yeah.
Slayer was letting all the Trollocs in via the dream world somehow.
Something.
And he was doing it to mess with the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
He didn't like the White Cloaks.
Fane kind of seems like a wrench in everybody's plans.
Yeah,
because
well,
Fane's on
always, 'cause
Fane's side.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Fane's on nobody else's side.
Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting now that Luke knows of Fane. And yeah, so I'm just piecing the puzzle together.
I had a really good Lord of the Rings reference. I'm not going to do it though.
Why?
It's just the Treebeard part because he's like, I'm on nobody's side because nobody is on my side. And that's kind of like Fane's thing is like, he's on his own side, just like Treebeard is on nobody's side.
Ah.
So yeah.
And who's Treebeard?
Okay. Anyways.
Well, now we have to take a shot, so you have to tell me.
Treebeard is the giant ent.
Oh, I knew that. I just didn't know his name.
Treebeard.
Oh, I don't like you comparing Fane to that guy.
No, it's the whole like I'm on nobody's side because nobody's on my side, and Fane is a very one-sided like I'm on my own side. He's not on the children's side from what we've seen.
No,
he's not on the Trolloc side. He's not on the Dark
One side. And he's definitely not
side.
on the Dark Friend side.
Like he's on nobody's side except for Fane's own like individualistic side.
But it's not because no one's on his side. It's because he's anyway.
That's just what came to my
now
brain
we have
right
to take
now.
a shot, so it doesn't matter.
I'll go get something.
Okay, back with some shots.
Yes.
Now you gotta be careful.
About
Lord of the Rings.
I know. We need to watch the movies first of all so that we can get up to speed.
We really actually do.
Yeah.
With all of our free time.
All the free time for 12 hours of movies.
Oh my god, okay.
You have to watch the extended director's cuts too, that are like 4.5 hours for some of them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Now, Luke, Ordith, Dane, Perrin.
Yes.
Now, Dane doesn't want to talk about Ordith. He doesn't like that guy.
No.
So then Dane just like shouts at Perrin, I arrest you as a dark friend.
You are arrested. I am arresting you.
You're arrested. And Bran's like, no.
It's so funny because Dane is drunk and furious.
Yeah.
Enraged, overzealous.
Yeah.
And like you have to imagine this scenario. It's so bad. It's such a bad decision. This isn't great. This is all terrible. Bran goes, no, there's going to be no arrests. Perrin is not a dark friend, and you're never going to be able to prove to me that he is. Yeah.
And Dane's like, yeah, well, Perrin betrayed my dad at Falma, which is interesting that he brings this up because Perrin left out the whole like West Coast situation.
Perrin hasn't been entirely truthful, which might bite him.
He's left some stuff out. So
not truthful.
Yeah. So Perrin is accused of betraying Jeffram to dark friends and Tarvalin witches who murdered Jeffram.
Yep. And 1,000 White
Cloaks with the power.
Yeah.
And Perrin is like, no, that was the Seanchan, probably. And Dane thinks that the Seanchan are a lie made up by the White Tower.
Yeah. And it's like, this is not a point to be using reason to try to like...
So we have a standoff situation getting very dangerous. It's like rabble, spears are ready, lances are ready.
Yeah.
Arrows are knocked. Like, this is all terrible. And Perrin's like, we are not going to do the Trollocs' work for them. We're not all killing ourselves right now.
Yeah.
This isn't going to happen.
This is the whole, like, oh, look, Perrin has a plan now,
Perrin has to think quickly, but he hates it. And he's like, Royal's right. I hate being hasty.
Yeah. We see what happens when Perrin is hasty. He makes terrible decisions.
Well, what the hell else was he supposed to do here?
Invite them in for a cup of tea. Like, what is this? What kind of plan is this?
I don't know. So
I can't get on board with this.
To hold off his arrest until the Trollocs are dealt with because he isn't going anywhere. And then... Which, like, I feel like that plan is good.
Yeah.
He's trying to negotiate his own, like, sort of...
That was a good start.
And then he invites them into Emmons Field, and I just say, what the fuck?
That's the bad part of the plan.
And then Bran even thinks it's a bad plan.
No kidding.
But he goes, okay. If this is going to happen, I have some rules. This plan is dumb probably, but no arrests, no doing anything. You can't do anything. Don't do anything.
Don't do things. If you do any things, arrested.
Yeah, straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
And Dane agrees to the terms because he's just so focused on getting Perrin.
And he's like now in Perrin's house.
And he's like drunk. I don't know. It's weird.
It's bad.
So he's like, okay, until the Trollocs are gone, peace, sort of. And Perrin, Luke, and Fael have a conversation about keeping your enemies this close probably isn't that great.
It's a bad plan. That's just what I'm saying. It's not great.
Luke thinks this is so funny because in my brain, he's orchestrated this whole thing.
And he didn't expect Perrin to be like, come on in.
And
he's
come like,
on over.
Good luck, youngster.
Yeah. Like, so if this is like Luke's plan, then kudos to Luke for setting this up and then Perrin being a moron. And then it working out
so perfect. I think that's why, because Perrin notes that Luke is like laughing about this situation. And
well, they clearly don't like each other. Like,
no,
I'm not on board.
I think that it's for sure this plan has worked even better than he could have possibly imagined.
So my whole thing is like, I'm on board when you call it a dark friend and then it's like, oh, it's a dark friend. Like the Leandrin situation. It's like, oh yeah, clearly.
I did do that.
The Luke thing is a little bit more wishy-washy.
It is,
where
but
it's
I
like,
have to take a stance.
Not hard evidence. You're just like throwing out accusations.
Gut feelings. You also tried to convince me that Fael is a dark friend when we first met her.
I don't know if that's true.
You did.
I don't believe that. I don't want to go listen to the tapes.
Okay.
Nope.
So Perrin thinks, I did what I had to do as the White Cloaks all ride into the village.
It's so bad.
Okay, so you want to hear something funny?
I do.
So now, in Emmons Field, we have Aes Sedai, Warders, and White Cloaks.
Yeah.
And we have Aiel and Tinkers. All in Emmons Field.
Yeah.
Which is this big.
And we have that friggin' flag bearer waving the wolf head banner around like an idiot.
So, like, if there was ever, what's the word? Like a hot pot or something?
Hot pocket. You're thinking of hot pocket. A cauldron.
A hotbed.
A hotbed of cauldron.
Of like coals.
Bubbling up.
Bubbles something.
I get what you're saying, where it's like, it's a perfect.
Sparks are gonna fly.
Yes. Yes.
All the metaphors.
So one thing we do got to talk about is the fact that Min's vision?
Min's viewing.
Min's viewing came true of the Tinker with the Sword being connected with Perrin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool. I forgot about that guy.
That was like a literal thing.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it like maybe last chapter, 2 chapters ago.
No, like a couple of chapters ago.
Pretty recently.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Doesn't matter.
So that was Min's viewing, and then Tinker with the Sword. It's important.
That's why you're here, to remind me of things that I was going to...
Aiel in a cage, Falcon and Hawk, Tinker with the Sword. Bing,
right,
bang, boom.
And Perrin was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That'll never happen to me. That's my Perrin. Do you like it?
It's good. You should be on the show. It's great.
Okay, so that's the end of this chapter.
Yes.
And that's the end of Perrin, and I think for a little while.
Really?
That's my prediction. I don't know if we're going to come back to...
Okay, I like that.
Like,
next chapter.
Yeah. No. I mean, like...
It's the rest of the book.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we might get a little bit of time. We're obviously going to spend some time in Tenchiko. I think... Well, I would like to get back to the Waste.
What Rand is doing?
Like,
that was like left on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Over there.
All the evil dark friends that he thinks that he's with.
I don't know. But now, chapter 46, we're going to switch. We're back to Tenchiko.
Yes.
So, chapter 46 is called Veils, and it's because
people
Elaine doesn't know how to wear a veil properly. Now, I'm picturing Aladdin.
Yes.
Is that what I should be picturing?
Yeah, that's
like
correct.
Eyes showing, but like transparent over the nose and mouth.
Correct.
Cool. Okay.
100%, yeah.
Little Arabian.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So the symbol is our like black and white faces looking at each other, which is typically the dark friend symbol.
Yes. So I had an important question.
Like enemies, could be just...
Hold up. Literally every time that we've ever had the symbol, you're like, dark friends.
Dark friends, except there's no...
And now you're being wishy-washy. But the last time that we had that whole 100% dark friendy chapter with this symbol, and Aeginin was in it, and I was like, is every single person here a dark friend? And I can't remember what you said. But that's the thing.
I said no. I don't think Aeginin's a dark friend.
We saw a bunch of dark friends that were being dark friendly.
Yeah, those were dark friends. Eginen, no. But this, specifically at the end of the chapter...
Is for that person,
it's
not
for that guy. Because I
Okay.
think that this is more somebody who is pretending to be in the light, but they're actually in the dark. I think that that's the symbolism of this
okay.
picture.
Okay. Now, just for the record, do you say
Here you go.
Eginen or Egianin?
I personally say Egianin
Okay.
because I think that in the audiobook it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
I think when I was first introduced to her, it was Egianin, and in this chapter, it was Eginen.
Eginen, okay.
But when I type,
yeah,
I spell phonetically.
Okay.
Because I have some undiagnosed dyslexia. I have some spelling and like word issues.
Yeah.
So
we got to dive into the whole whose character perspective is it from and who's pronouncing it in which way. So is it a character issue of the pronunciation of the name?
What are you even saying? I don't
it's
even
just like
I
how do you
I lost you.
What's the real pronunciation versus like if we're in Elaine or Nynaeve's perspective, who pronounces it Eginen versus Egianin? It's a whole thing.
Or in Egianin's perspective.
How does she pronounce her own name?
Is that part of it?
No, it's not.
Not even a little bit. Oh, what a waste of time. What are you talking about? God. Okay, well, let's get into this chapter, though, because last time, with the girls in Tenchiko, they had just arrived.
Yeah.
And Elaine got drunk.
Wine drunk. It's an important distinction.
It was great. They, turns out, have been looking for Egwene in Tel'aran'rhiod every night without finding her.
For a while.
Yeah. Julin, Damin, and Tom have been helping them to look for the Black Aja.
Yeah.
And they got some hints that they are, in fact, here in Tenchiko.
Yes.
That's what happened last time. So now we start this chapter actually in Egianin's
perspective. Yeah.
Yes. She's the secret Sean Chen that's here. So I had to like make that distinction because I had to be like, who's that again?
Remember last time we were like, oh my god, I figured out who it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're supposed to know who this is.
Yeah,
we know her. She goes here.
Oh my god. Okay, I do remember. But I remembered this time, okay? And in case anyone else is like, who are you talking about? It's the chick. It's the Sean Chen undercover.
Yes,
here.
Yeah.
So, she's heading through Tenchiko. She thinks poor people are disgusting. She's right.
She hates it.
She hates poor people so much.
Oh,
she hates the smell. She hates the people. She hates everything.
Yeah.
Eginen is... Oh, I said it right.
You did it. Oh, okay.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah. So she's on her own here with no guards. And I have to tell you...
Eginen's following Gleb?
Yeah, I was so confused. I didn't know. I didn't know it was... Oh, did you say Gleb?
Gleb. That was intentional.
See, I don't even know which one is right.
I know.
I didn't know what was happening in this scene.
Oh, really?
At all.
Okay.
So, I thought that she was, like, with Gelb at first. I thought that she was, like... I know. I thought that she was, like, with him looking for these women, and then they get to them, and she's like... Oh, it's wrong. And then that's when she steps in?
So no.
No.
Not happening.
No,
Gelb has been on a whole like kidnapping rampage of kidnapping women, and she's like, this has to stop. So she's tailing him, watching what he's doing, and then he's gonna go and kidnap other women. Else again. Which is funny because we know who it is now.
He wants money.
He wants money because she paid him the first time. And that was a mistake.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing that's happening.
And she's had to, like, slit throats and send women to the countryside.
And she's just, like, following him secretly to make sure that he's not kidnapping the wrong people, which he is going to try to do.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So, she's following him. Then she gets distracted by the sounds of some poor person getting his arm broken for asking for a coin, which is important later.
Yep.
But she loses sight of Gelb for a moment.
Yes. But don't worry.
She finds him right away.
She finds him.
He's hiding in a doorway, peering up the street. He's got a bunch of thugs with him. They're spread out around the street, trying to look casual. She picks
Looking nonchalant.
Okay. And Egianin tries to narrow down who the victims are supposed to be and rules out some women here and there. Then 2 women catch her eye for not blending in at all, and guess who the fuck that is?
It's so good because like her first thought is like they don't blend in at all.
They suck, and then when we get into their heads, they're like,
oh,
we're good
so
at
well.
this.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
it's like
I hate it so much.
100%.
Ken
It's so
our
funny.
girls be even remotely competent for 3 seconds? I'm just...
No. Not yet.
I want them to be better than they are, and it's so infuriating that they're so stupid.
We all want them to be better than they are right now, and we just have to wait for the learning.
You know, what makes me feel
happen.
better
Yeah.
right now is that Perrin is also being super stupid.
Oh, yeah, the boys aren't better.
No, but in
No.
different ways,
Yeah.
I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, Perrin doesn't think to himself in his own head, I'm really good at this.
It's more like
You know what I mean?
self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the women in their heads are like, oh, just like morons. So they come across
I can see that.
ineffectual, and they think they're being so good, and
Yeah.
it's just infuriating. I just don't like the...
Minus Matt. Matt thinks he's good, I'm pretty sure.
Matt has no idea what he's thinking. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't help people, and then 3 seconds later, he's helping people.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing altogether. But just this...
I get that. The internal monologue. Like, I can understand that. So.
It just makes them seem so foolish. Like, the self-deprecating is like, no, Perrin. It makes us feel sorry for him, and it makes us on his side.
Yeah.
And it makes us go, you're doing better than you think you are. Get it in your head. You're the king, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're better than you think you are. Whereas with the girls, we're like, no, you stupid idiots. Like,
yeah, you're doing a terrible job. That's a good point.
That's the mentality,
Yeah.
and I hate it.
Yeah.
Because they're basically all screwing up and being stupid about it, but it's just the way it's written makes us think the girls are dumb and the guys are better than they think they are.
I mean, counterpoint, that could be also like the whole upbringing of the women have had their tires pumped a little bit, where it's like Egwene,
yeah, you
Elaine,
keep coming
Nynaeve.
back to that.
They've been told repeatedly they're the best shit ever. They're the most powerful women to be ever Aes Sedai in 1,000 years, whatever. And you've got nobody really encouraging the boys in any way.
Are you joking?
Well, I mean, they're telling Brand he's going to go crazy and he's a bad guy. So it's like, I kind of understand that whole, like, internal, like, issues. Like, who's really supporting...
Well, the Ram thing is completely separate because he's, like, crazy. But
he is crazy,
the
too.
The Perrin thing... I feel like everyone's pumping his tires, telling him how good he is, and he just, like, can't believe it.
Well, right now, but, like, in the last 3 books, how many people were talking to Perrin, like, this is a good thing? He had the whole wolf issue about going crazy, too.
But he kept it secret. Yeah, I get it.
So
I mean, like, there are things... It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me what the rationale is.
Yeah.
What matters to me is how it's written, and when I superficially read it, how do I emotionally feel about the character? And with the women, I feel they're stupid, and with the men, I feel like they're better than they think they are.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And I can understand it.
I don't like that.
I get that. I get that 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's a good point.
Moving on, though.
Yes, back to this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where she sees them. They catch her eye right away. They're both dressed sort of like Terrebonners with the braids, with the veils, and they're dressed like Terrebonners, even with down to the silk dresses.
Yeah.
But what's out of place is that they're walking down the street with clubs over their shoulders.
It's the class
in
part.
the silk dresses.
Yeah.
So women dressed like this should be
in sedan chairs.
Chairs with bodyguards.
It's the class warfare again that we've kind of seen in Tears. So
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even wrote in my notes, now that we've talked about it, I wrote in my notes, God damn it, Nynaeve and Elaine, why do you suck so much? This is frustrating how much they suck.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. The way it's written, it makes me think that about them. So she dismisses Elaine completely.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is funny later.
It is.
And she realizes that Gelb must think that Nynaeve is the Sul'dam named Serene, but she knows he's wrong.
Yeah, so it's like a close, like
It's close.
They look kind of the same, but it's not. So that's why she's like, oh man, he's going to try and kidnap her and bring her to me for money.
So she takes off in their direction to try to stop Gelb from kidnapping these women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get a scene change. No. We get a perspective change, but not a scene change. It's the same scene.
Yeah, or like very close.
But now we're in Elaine's head.
Yeah.
So Elaine and Nynaeve are heading through the streets. Elaine keeps getting the veil stuck in her mouth. And she says that they should have hired chairs. And I think yes.
100%.
Yes, you should have done that. Because
also, how much money have they already lost?
Yeah. Because she keeps getting her purse stolen. But, like, also, how much money are you actually carrying around when you're just going on a Black Aja mission?
Okay, but it's Elaine who's royalty, and we've already had this issue between Elaine and Nynaeve, being like, Elaine throws money at everything, and Nynaeve's like scrimping on everything.
Yeah.
So I would assume that Elaine's purse is always full of
just
way too much.
Just in case she has to tip people for Nynaeve being rude to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they've lost a lot of money.
Yeah, they
I'm gonna
have.
go out there and say that.
I know. Okay. So Nynaeve and Elaine have a conversation that Nynaeve would rather trust herself than men she doesn't know, and Elaine wants the bodyguards because people steal her purses.
Yeah.
Now, Nynaeve thinks that it would be dumb to have bodyguards or be in hired chairs because then they wouldn't be able to see anything or ask anyone questions.
And it's like, maybe, but...
Yeah, it's not
it's
the
like,
smartest.
Who are the people that you're trying to ask questions? Like, you already have your thugs out.
It's like Nynaeve gets an idea in her head, and then she can't admit that maybe it's not the best idea, so she just keeps trying to come up with excuses as to why it's good.
She keeps doubling down.
Yes.
Don't double down.
But her excuses just also don't make very much sense. Because
That's
you
true.
could just get out of your chairs.
Yeah.
And people might be willing to talk to you if you're going to, like, give them money because you look like you have money.
Yeah.
Like, that's a strategy
You could have used those 3 lost purses to bribe people.
Yeah. So this is where we get Nynaeve and Elaine discussing how good their disguises are.
So good.
It's not great.
Yeah. I do like that Nynaeve is getting, like, used to the fancy clothing.
Just she likes it.
She kind of talks about the whole Two Rivers wolves, but...
No, it's Elaine who feels bare.
Yes.
She feels like she's like they're basically in their shifts.
Yeah.
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 Well, and that's what Rand was dreaming about, was Elaine in her shift.
Which is, I'm still not 100% sure.
It's like the underwear dress.
Underwear dress.
Yeah.
So good.
Basically lingerie.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. So Elaine thinks about the events in the night before in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah, sort of flashback sequence.
Okay. So she met with Egwene and Amis, and that must have been so relieving for her. Like, she must have thought that Egwene was dead.
Because the last they saw, she got ripped out.
Yeah.
And it's like, we haven't heard from her, so...
Yeah, so they see her with Amis. Elaine notes that Egwene was in 2 funny little braids.
Yeah.
Still, which is funny.
And Egwene's not talking at all.
Yeah. And, well, no, she does. She says that Rand is well and Aviend is looking after her, but that's, like, all she's allowed to say. And then Amis is lecturing Elaine now on the dangers of the dream world. And I have to say that this is probably exactly why Amis agreed to going back into Tel'aran'rhiod to meet her friends, to yell at them and teach them that they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Yep. That's what's happening.
For sure. So we also get at the end of that they learn Perrin is no longer with Rand and Matt.
Right, that's the big surprise thing.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, so they kind of speculate where he's off to, and they don't actually know he's back in Emmons Field.
No, they do not.
That's a surprise. That's not known knowledge.
That's no knowledge.
No knowledge. Unknown knowledge.
Good words, Brett.
Yes.
Okay, so then the girls get attacked in the streets.
Okay.
And so they actually do a pretty good job fighting.
You know what? I like the fact that although they might not be the smartest people from our perspective, they're not defenseless. Like, it's not the whole damsels in distress and the men attack and it's like, oh my god, we need to be safe.
And they're not even, well, they do end up using the power,
but they, like, crack a couple dudes over the head with their sticks. Like, they're not defenseless even without the power. They have their physicality to, like, help them out, so...
Yeah, I do like that a lot. They're fighting back, but we have, like, 7 huge thugs.
Yeah, that's, like, overpowered.
Yeah, and then Elaine hears one of them say, "Don't let her get away. She's gold, I tell you, gold." And Elaine's like, "Oh, they're here for me."
They know
who I am.
Okay, so is that
Wrong.
right? That's wrong? Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? Of course. We already talked about how that's wrong.
Well, I mean, you know.
Well, I guess from Aegyana's point of view, it's obvious that they were going after Nynaeve.
Yes, okay.
So
yeah. So Elaine is wrong.
Wrong.
Okay.
Now, the crowd backs away. No one helps. Nynaeve and Elaine both embrace Saidar, but don't channel. They don't want to use it yet. it's a huge giveaway.
Yes, and we do kind of get the whole, like, because of that, we now know that they have been wandering Tanchico, like, feeling for women embracing the One Power so they can find the Black Hajjah secretly.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, the thugs are, like, slowly circling and approaching Elaine and Nynaeve, and then Egyanin appears and starts to just, like, kick some serious ass. Now, I've gotten some slack in the past for saying that I like the Shanchen.
Okay.
But...
Flack or slack? You've gotten flack. Okay.
Flack. Did I say slack?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten
Shanchen
slack.
are awesome.
Yeah.
I like them.
Slavery's bad.
Yeah,
Asterisk over here.
Uh-huh.
Don't do slavery. But I like this chick.
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic.
She kicks serious ass.
Well,
and I am here for it. She's just like a competent woman, and I am here for competent women.
Do you remember Domin's reaction when he first met her?
That he didn't think she was a woman.
It was like, oh my god, it's a woman. And then he was envisioning like a bunch of Amazonian type women.
Yeah.
Like a full army of just
Wonder
like women warriors.
Woman.
Yeah. So,
no,
I love
Gal
Gadot.
Gadot.
It's fantastic. Yeah. No, I love her too. She's great.
Yeah.
She like scatters them all. It's fantastic.
She's great. She like inspires them because they're all three of them now fighting the thugs to the point where Elaine cries an Andor battle cry. Okay, Elaine, like in your silk clingy dress. Like I can just imagine this. This is so good.
Okay, but we also know Elaine's perspective of what she needs to live up to because we got that whole story about her needing to live up to the standards of the queens of old.
Because the queens
riding into battle.
Into battle.
Like with their and rally the troops. Like she's trying to live up to that standard still.
Yeah.
So
I know. I thought that was so funny.
It is funny.
But one man pulls a knife out to stab Egyanin in the back, and this is when Elaine channels without thinking.
Yeah.
She channels air, throws him back, and the thugs scatter for good now.
Yeah.
Scared off.
Yeah.
So people are watching, and Egyanin is stunned about the channeling.
A little bit.
And I think...
Yeah, especially because we know what we know.
We also know that she may own some Adams, whatever.
Adam,
yeah.
Like the collars?
The collars.
Ah.
She has some of those lying around. She also has someone locked up in her basement who can channel.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So I like her a little less.
We know that she knows that what they are.
Okay, I take it back. I like her a little less. I like her less. I forgot that she has someone locked in her basement.
Right.
Shoot. I take it back.
I don't take it back. I still like her.
Don't hate me.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops.
She's a very well-written character. She's fantastic.
Yeah, anyway, that's bad that she has seen this. Nynaeve invites Egyanin to join them for tea to thank her for helping them.
Uh-huh.
And they are not aware that she is the reason they were attacked in the first place.
True. And they also tell her where their inn is.
Yeah, and what their names are.
And
who they are.
Their real names. Mm-hmm. The real identities. So, we're not hiding any of that stuff, okay?
Yeah. And so Nynaeve suggests getting away from this gross, poor area. And getting back to their inn.
Yeah.
And Egyanin's like, yeah, okay. But is a little uneasy going with these women who can channel freely. Because she thinks of women who can channel as animals who need to be leashed.
Yes, very literally.
And so, of course, she's uneasy about this whole situation, but she's so curious.
And she's like, I gotta know more, because this whole intel thing,
Well,
she's still undercover.
And she's still also really wary about this whole, how come the Suldam can channel?
Yes. It's layers of secrets that she's playing.
There's layers of stuff for her, because she's also skeptical of what's going on in the power hierarchy of her own
stuff. Oh yeah, because the whole Suldam can channel thing might undermine the entirety of even the Crystal Throne. She was talking about that, and she's got that whole truth seeker who paid her a visit, so it's very questionable.
Right.
But I do want to say one thing, that Elaine and Nynaeve kind of recognized the slow speech.
Okay, let me tell you what they recognize. It's nothing. Elaine thinks she has a familiar way of talking, but can't place it.
Sure.
That's not kind of recognizing anything. They're on no alert. They don't
I'm
Nothing.
not saying that they're on alert. I'm just saying that there might be a reason.
It's familiar to Elaine, but she's not like, oh my god. Like, if I heard an accent like that...
But here's the thing. They were in Falma. They've heard the Shanshan. They know what they sound like. So is Aeginan is she trying to hide her accent?
She might be, but if Elaine were smarter... Now, I hate saying that, because, like, maybe Elaine's very smart.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. She's like, huh, that's familiar.
Well, the whole...
Anyway, I'm Elaine. Come with me.
Shanshan being in Tanchico in secret isn't even on their radar. So, like, I get where she's coming from.
I know, but...
Yeah.
You want the characters to be better. You want them to know everything you know, and it's frustrating.
Oh, yeah. It's frustrating when they don't. So.
Yeah. So, Elaine asks Aeginan if she saw what she did, and confirms that yes, she saw, and she's like, don't worry, we won't harm you. She gets that Aeginan is a little uneasy about this, and she thinks back to, oh, it sucks so much that people are scared of Aes Sedai. She sees it as, like, fear, which it very well might be at this point.
To an extent, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because she's not leashed, right?
She's not leashed, and if something came down to, like, fisticuffs,
she's like, we won't harm you.
She's gonna lose.
Yeah, so we head back to the inn. Nynaeve says Elaine needs to be more careful because she's not tucked safely in her mother's palace anymore. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, Nynaeve, frickin' hypocrite. How about you just tell this woman everything about yourself and then also everything about Elaine?
It's like Royal Palace, and they already used, like, the Trakand royal name. Like, they used Elaine's last name, and even though it might not be, like, that well known, if you know royalty's last names, that's a big indicator.
Well, and especially considering they have no idea who this woman is.
Yep.
She could very well be working for the people that you're hunting down.
And Elaine was thinking to herself, they're trying to kidnap me because they know who I am.
Yeah.
So, like, try to keep that a secret.
It's like nobody talks about who these people were trying to get them. Like, this was 7 guys orchestrating an attack and an attempted kidnap. Nynaeve later thinks that they were trying to take her. Elaine later is like, no, it was me. So they both think they were about to be kidnapped, and no one at any point is like, who and why? They're like, oh, thanks, generous stranger. Would you like some tea?
Yeah, come back to our inn. Here's a key to our room.
It's incredibly infuriating.
This is my sleep schedule.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's continue.
So, back at the inn, Julian is there, and apparently he's found the women, or at least where they've been.
Yeah.
So,
good job. Okay.
Yeah, so he finds, like, the house that they were at.
And
we know that they've moved because of the whole Padar thing.
Yeah. More importantly, he has a new hat.
Oh, and he doesn't have any bruises this time. Or new bruises.
New hat, though. Come on.
Oh, I actually didn't get that.
Yeah, he's got a new hat.
Okay, cool.
It might be a fez. There's a possibility.
Okay, I don't care. So...
Can't believe that.
No, so Aeginan is trying to, like, piece things together here. He's like, is Julian your servant?
Yeah.
What's happening here? I don't know. I'm just really upset because of the whole, let's say more super important things in front of this stranger.
Yeah. So I kind of understand Aeginan's confusion because in Shanshan, number one, Aes Sedai or channelers are animals, and then they have the whole weird distinction between property of, like, people can belong to other people and what, like,
and
the hierarchy.
No one would ever talk back to anybody. Like,
exactly, like, not even a little bit. So when
she's like, he was sassing you a little bit. Like, how could a servant sass you?
So it's like, what's the hierarchy? Can't you just put them in a silk bag and let them die?
Yeah,
like,
we've seen Shanshan's servants literally kneeling while a battle goes on around them.
Yeah, and, like, prostrating themselves. So yeah, and then, like, when their commander dies, they kill themselves. So it's like the hierarchy, like, Aeginan's trying to figure all this out, and it doesn't make sense to her. Yeah. So I understand her confusion.
Yeah. All right. So at this point, they go and get settled in the Chamber of the Falling Blossoms.
Of Falling Blossoms, not the. Come on.
Okay. So
who are you?
It's a private room for tea.
Nynaeve.
Yeah, right. So Rendra gets them set up with their tea and their cakes and whatever.
Yeah.
She leaves. Aeginan tells Elaine and Nynaeve that they're not what she expected. She's very confused.
Yeah, you're not animals.
Yeah. Especially confusing is how everyone treats each other.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the hierarchy thing.
Yeah, so it's confirmed that they are Aes Sedai, And Elaine is nobly born.
Not of the blood.
Not of the blood.
She makes a bunch of slips almost, so.
Yeah, right. So, Ayanna just keeps asking questions about training at the White Tower. Elaine tells her that the Queen wouldn't have much say even at the White Tower.
They're like super free. Here's all the information about how all of our like political structures
You're
work.
leaving? But wait, we haven't answered more of your questions.
We can answer more. And she's like, I'll be back. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But for now,
Yeah.
Egyanin goes, oh, so that's how you stay in power. You rule over the rulers.
There you go.
No, not really. So
Yeah.
she asks if many queens go to the White Tower. And it's just like on and on.
Yeah.
All this information. Egyanin mentions that she does some small trade of information, and she noticed that Elaine and Nynaeve are searching for people. Maybe she can help. Now, really? I don't know. Does she actually want to help them?
No, I think that she wants to make an alliance, or like she wants to get on the in with these girls because she wants to learn about the White Tower. So she's offering some assistance to be able to come back.
Yeah.
I don't actually see her at this point being like, hey, can I help you find people? She's like, how can I offer assistance? So like a trade-off, right?
Right, okay.
So.
Maybe. So, Egyanin wants to know more about the Aes Sedai, but they, at this point, have some wits about them.
Yeah.
And don't share the, like, secret affairs. They don't share the whole Black Aja stuff. But they share enough that it's
They do.
bad
And
anyway.
Egyanin literally says that I don't want to pry into the secret affairs. Like, Egyanin says that.
Yeah.
Like, I just want the regular stuff, not the super secret stuff. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Elaine says that she doesn't sense the power in Egyanin, but maybe she can learn. And she's like, holy shit, what?
So that's big.
It can be learned? What?
Yeah. It all ties in. Like, we understand now how that works with Sean-Chen.
Oh,
but
yes, we do. It's a very corrupt system.
Yeah, she's slowly piecing it together where the whole Suldam, Damani...
Like, shakes her entire existence.
This goes to the top, right to the Crystal Throne. Oh my god, everybody's involved in this big
And then
conspiracy.
Tom's like, hey guys, can I have some tea too?
Yeah.
He just struts in, doesn't regard them, doesn't ask if he can enter, goes and takes a seat in this, like, in the middle of their private conversation. It's anyway, so he is there actually to bring them news about the Children of the Light surrounding the Panarch's palace.
Palace, yeah.
The palace this morning, and that lady, Amarithia, is being invested as
Amathera.
Amathera. Thank you. You didn't correct me. Okay.
No, I was like trying to figure out what you were saying.
Okay.
It's amethyst.
Yeah, so she's basically being inducted as the Panarch tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the plan that we saw with the White Cloaks and the King and all that stuff.
And then also sort of the White Cloaks with the Black Aja.
Yes.
Because we saw Leandrin with Jacob Carradine.
Yes, the plans kind of aligned properly.
Kind of.
They all kind of connected.
So Tom thinks it's interesting and odd things are worth noting.
Okay, I'm Tom, you're Nynaeve. I'm like, hey, this is really important and it's interesting. And you're like, I don't care. It's
true.
Politics. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, hey, important things, weird things like this, we should take note of. And you're like, later.
I have faults.
Remember how I said that you're Nynaeve?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Nynaeve.
Remember how I've accepted it and I'm moving through those feelings?
Yes. Yeah.
Nynaeve is everything about myself that I struggle with. And I think that's the controlling and the need for being right all the time and all of that, the hypercritical, high-strung
I get it.
More, should I say more things about myself?
Sure. Why not?
I try to pretend that I'm not those things, and then they're
okay.
at the root of me.
Hey, Nynaeve figures it out.
We have such good vacations. Our trips are so well planned.
They are.
So many lists.
Organized fun.
Oh my god.
We get so much done. It's great.
It is excellent.
Yeah.
Nynaeve, all about the list making.
I can see that.
I am on board with.
Her and Lan go on vacation. Organized fun. There you go.
Oh, the best kind of fun, because then you can pack the most amount of fun into one day.
right?
Love it. Okay. All right. You're right.
Yeah, let's continue.
Because Nynaeve is like, get out of here, old man. I have to find my spot. I don't know.
Well, okay.
What were we talking about again?
Okay, the White Cloaks are helping get Amathera on the throne. It's a Dark Friend / White Cloaky plot, something plus the King of Tenchico.
Something weird.
Yeah.
And it's super weird too because the Assembly didn't want Amarithia.
Amathera.
Amarithia Franklin. So Amathera. They didn't want her, and then now all of a sudden there's news of her.
She's being put on the throne.
And so the regular people still think that she's not wanted.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be riots.
More so than already is happening, whatever.
Right.
More turmoil.
And so now she's being let in. Tom lets them know that he's arranged with Bail Daman to provide 50 men to act as guards for these women, and Elaine tells him they accept the offer. And Nynaeve's like,
You wouldn't want to get kidnapped off the street, am I right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now Aegianan, this is such a hard chapter for me. She notes Bail Daman's name.
She does.
Because she knows him.
And I think Nynaeve notices that she notices.
On Nynaeve though.
Yeah.
Okay, that's later. I do
she
have
like
a good
notably
note.
notes it. It's interesting. So yeah.
Notably noting.
Yeah.
I love it. So then at this point, Aegianan's like, I have to go now. My planet needs me.
She's like,
I'm out. This is too much.
Yeah.
I can't be around. You guys are like working with someone who I definitely don't want to recognize me. So she takes off, but not before she asks permission to return another time.
Yeah, she needs to learn more, and they're not what she expected.
And then she leaves.
Gone.
Yeah. Now, Elaine and Nynaeve argue about who the kidnapping target was.
Yeah, obviously it was Elaine.
Yeah, obviously it was Nynaeve. Didn't you see them grabbing me? They wanted me.
Yeah, but like she's the daughter heir, so.
Duh.
Yeah.
So, at least they agree they need guards.
Yeah, 50 of them. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, Elaine and Nynaeve also haven't figured out what this dangerous thing that will hurt Rand is yet.
Yeah, that's
or
problematic.
Where it is, or what it is. They have basically nothing except an empty house where the Black Aja used to be.
Yes, so they're not doing that good.
No, they're doing bad, some would say.
Yeah, in
some
my
would
expert
say
opinion,
this is terrible.
This search is bad.
Yeah, but like from the start, it would be surprising to me if they would be doing something well. That's how they're written. It's just like,
yeah, okay,
you're just gonna go there and just hope for nothing. Like,
yeah,
it just doesn't even.
Yeah,
good planning, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they found some stuff at that whole exhibition place.
No, Egwene found some stuff there.
Yeah,
but no one's connecting that stuff with the stuff that could be bad for Rand, except for me. I'm connecting it.
Sort of. Yeah.
Okay. So. Nynaeve mentions that Aegianan's eyes hinted that she knows Bail Daman, and I finally say, good for Nynaeve.
Hey.
Good for her picking this up.
Yes. Because
now she's a little bit on edge about Aegianan.
Yeah.
Which she should have been from the beginning.
The stranger who saved you. Yeah. It's
weird.
It's a whole lot of...
no one is saving anybody.
Let's talk about the last part of this chapter, because this is
the good stuff. This is
what we came here for.
It really is, quite honestly. So, Rendra, the innkeeper, enters the room to let Nynaeve and Elaine know that someone, a woman, is downstairs and believes she knows them and wants to talk to them. She is a stern woman, not from Terrebonne, but Rendra didn't ask her name. Yeah. And Nynaeve and Elaine immediately think, this might be the Black Aja. And instead of doing anything remotely intelligent, like sending Rendra back to find out more information about this, like her name, like anything, saying no. And I mean, like, I know what you're going to say, because of the whole, like, we learn about compulsion something here. Yeah. But...
what would that have done?
What would that have done? Probably not much.
Sure.
But
doing something is generally preferable to doing nothing.
Than nothing.
So,
because they're like, oh my god, it might be the Black Aja. send her in, and I'm going to embrace Saidar. Like, we'll get them now. Like,
so we've got Elaine who embraces Saidar,
And-
and Nynaeve who does not because she's not angry, so she can't.
yeah, but they tell Rendra to send her in. And instead of going out into the public space to meet her, like, there are so many things they could have done.
Yep.
And I mean, maybe, like, at the end of this, maybe you'll be able to explain to me about this thing
Sure.
that this woman does
Sure.
more.
Sure.
Because it seems to be like a...
Let's get there and then we'll talk about it.
Cool, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe that's part of this.
Yeah, let's get there and then we'll talk about it.
Because this all seems stupid.
Let's get there first.
So the woman steps into the chamber. She doesn't look like anyone on the list of women.
Yeah.
My Lanfear radar goes off.
Nah, it's Lanfear.
Oh my god.
This one's Lanfear.
She's in the waste and she's here.
We found her. We found her, everybody.
No.
We figured it out.
Guess what, though?
What?
This isn't Lanfear.
It's okay.
Definitive.
Hey, I like that.
Definitively not Lanfear.
Love it.
Although neither of these women have seen Lanfear. That was Egwene who saw her.
Okay, but we
Right?
know.
We know.
We know.
We know. So, definitively not Lanfear, so everyone can suck it.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously I need more bad guys.
Sure.
Because at this point, I only have one female bad guy.
Yeah.
And when a bad guy thing happens, I'm like, oh, that's it.
Must be.
Bad guy.
Okay.
Bad guy number 1. This, bad guy number 2.
Nice.
Bad gal.
Love it.
So, here we go. She steps into the chamber. She doesn't look like any of the women on the list of Black Aja.
Yeah.
Elaine starts to speak, and the glow of Saidar surrounds this woman.
Yeah.
So she can channel.
Yeah.
Number 1. Elaine releases the true source because there's something commanding about this woman. She has black hair, large eyes, smooth face,
Yeah.
black dress. That's how I know she's not Lanfear, by the way.
Okay.
Black dress. Lanfear would
Not
never
white.
wear black. It's not her color.
Black.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She wears white.
Okay.
Makes her more tanned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. So she does something
Yeah.
that makes it hard for the girls to think properly or think
Sure.
straight or think for themselves.
Okay.
Okay. The woman comments on their abilities.
Yeah.
She says they're little more than girls, only half trained, but Nynaeve is especially strong. But then turns out Nynaeve is blocked. She's blocked herself.
Yeah, and we know that.
And then this woman says, we would have had that out of you already.
Aha. Okay.
Who's we?
We.
We would have.
Okay.
Interesting.
What's your initial thought?
Forsaken.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's no way this is.
Well, that lines up with the whole we would have had that out of you because we know Forsaken from when they are.
Yeah, there's several things here where
Yeah.
it's like definitely she's bad guy.
Yeah.
And we get that there are other female Forsaken and we
Yeah.
haven't met them yet, so I'm happy to do that. Now, let me tell you about the names of the Forsaken that I know.
Oh, okay.
And then you can tell me if they're female or not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but yeah.
Please,
let's-
yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay, let's
you
go.
can tell me if we know, because we have Asmodean.
Yeah, we know that's a guy.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Not that one then.
Yeah.
Moghedien?
Mogedian.
Moghedien?
Yeah.
Girl? Female? Because we got some stuff. I know you're trying to decide whether or not
Yeah.
I know. But we do know. Based on...
Oh, yeah. We know it's a she. Yeah, we know it's a
Because-
she.
Based on what they would do with Kalendor.
Yes, we know that
If
she's
they
a
would
woman.
give it to a man to use, or if they would use it themselves.
And let's
got
talk
that.
about the pronunciation of Mogedian.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's not. Okay.
I bet it's as
And
bad as
Moghedien?
Ruidian.
Yeah, it's as bad. Equally bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moghedien. So that's a female.
Yes.
Is that who this is?
I'm not going to tell
Nice.
you that.
Ah.
Yeah. See, that was going. It was like, No, okay.
Okay. Okay. Those are the only two I remember.
Okay.
And then she speaks of Ravine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also have Samiel, which we know is a dude.
It's time for
No, let me say it.
Okay, you do it. Go.
It's time for glossary definitions with Brett.
The Forsaken, name given to 13 of the most powerful Aes Sedai of the Age of Legends, thus among the most powerful ever known, who went over to the Dark One during the War of the Shadow in return for the promise of immortality. According to both legend and fragmentary records, they were imprisoned along with the Dark One when his prison was resealed. The names given to them are still used to frighten children. They were Aegonor, Asmodean, Balthamel, Balal, Demandred, Grendel, Ishamael, Lanfear, Messana, Mogedion, Ravine, Samael, Semirog.
Ooh. Some
Yes.
of those I haven't heard before.
Yes. So in the glossary of the Shadow Rising, we get all the names.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
This is the first time we've heard all of the names.
But there is definitely no way to tell
Who's who?
who's who.
Yeah.
We know, obviously, we know
some. We don't have to talk about it now.
We don't.
But
Okay.
we can talk about it later.
One of them. She's one of them.
I like it. I like the fact that you think it's a Forsaken, not just like one of the Black Aja. She seems too OP to be like just Black Aja.
To what?
Overpowered. OP is like...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Definitely that.
Yeah.
So let's just finish this off, though, because we get Nynaeve starting to cry and apologizing for blocking herself, and we get this very raw, real explanation from Nynaeve for what her damn issue is.
Yeah, we do. This is great.
This is huge.
This is very big.
Huge.
Yes.
For like one of our main characters. She's got this block. She's got this problem. She can't channel on this. She's angry. And it's because the anger is her most real, raw emotion where she has like very little logical, rational thoughts happening when she's angry.
Yes.
Now, her logical, rational thoughts are stopping her from channeling because she's afraid of the amount of power that she personally can channel.
How can one woman have all that power?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. I like it. I like this. And it's easy to glaze over.
But it's
like
big.
One sentence in this chapter.
That's her issue.
But it's huge.
Yes.
It's huge.
So we know for Nynaeve to break her block, she has to like not be afraid
to
of all that
use
power.
It.
Yeah.
And I think that it can happen. If you would have asked me before this, and I think we have talked about it, I didn't know if Nynaeve would ever be able to actually get over this.
We still don't know that.
Well, that's true, but at least we have like
we know that
way.
She knows.
There's a way.
Why?
There's a way.
Like internally, deep down, she gets
she
it.
knows. She gets it. So this woman's like, yuck, crying. She commands them to just be like happy and overjoyed to be meeting her. And she commands them to answer all of her questions truthfully and starts asking them a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
Why are they in Tanchico? Elaine and Nynaeve explain that they know of the Black Aja and the Terangrials.
Okay. I gotta pause you.
Okay.
I gotta pause you for a big reason.
Okay.
Because we kind of get a little bit about how this is working. And we get that she's using some sort of power ability that she names compulsion.
Yeah, but not till later.
I know, but this is important into the frame of questioning. Because the way she asks the questions and the way the girls answered the questions is very exact. So exact that it's almost exactly the same as how Matt asked questions and he was given answers.
Okay.
In his terangrial like doorways, when he says things, phrasing is so important.
Yeah.
That if you don't ask the right question the right way with the right nuance, the answer you get isn't going to be good.
Yeah, that's an interesting connection.
Because again, when she asks the question, she says, this woman says, "Are you alone? Are there any other Aes Sedai with you?" And the answer is no. To the first question, which is, "Are you alone?" No, we're not alone.
Yes.
Are there any other Aes Sedai with you? There are no Aes Sedai with us, which is both factually true statements.
Right.
But that's why like the confusion
And then we get
comes.
into the Terangrial stuff. Do you have any with you?
Yes.
Or do you have any in your purses?
She says, "Turn out your purses on the table, your pouches. Do you have any Terangrial in your rooms?"
And Elaine consciously thinks about the one she has around her neck.
Yes, but that's not the question.
Breasts.
Between her breasts.
It's between her breasts. It's not just around her neck. It's between her breasts.
You didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's the thing. The phrasing of the question is so important. And she thinks about it.
She's like, I know this is here, but I don't have to tell her this because she didn't ask me. Is
not that she doesn't have to, that she shouldn't, because that would be like not answering the right question. It's not like trying to hide it. It's that she didn't ask me the question. Don't answer a question she didn't ask.
Interesting. Okay. I thought this was like maybe Elaine fighting it a little bit. It's not.
No, it's not at all. There's zero fight here.
Yeah, because I have Elaine only answers explicitly.
Explicitly, but not because she's fighting back. It's because she's doing exactly what she's
I would have liked it better if she was fighting back. So, this woman asks about Rand al'Thor.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, so that's his name now. He was all arrogant before. Is he still the same? So that's like definitely
not Lanfear.
This is obviously Forsaken.
Yeah.
This isn't Lanfear. And then she also talks about how it sounds like it was Bilal and Ishmael who died. And this woman thinks that they're both too strong to waste and they may be useful one day. She'd love to see Raveen's eyes the day he meets Nynaeve unblocked.
The day he.
Yeah.
So Raveen is a he.
And not with her.
Yeah. No,
like, it sounds to me like she's like with someone, maybe.
Okay.
A little bit, but not this guy.
No, I like the fact that she doesn't want to just, like, she doesn't indiscriminately kill, like, people.
Mm-mm.
Like, she could, but she finds them useful as tools, so she wants to use them in the future. Like, I kind of like that side.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then she says that she would put them off the hunt of this Black Aja thing, but it's a pity that compulsion is so limited.
Yes.
So we get a name
for
what she's doing.
Yeah.
And now I have a little bit of a theory because we get for sure that Moiraine is able to a little bit influence people.
Uh-huh.
And so
she's not the only one.
Yeah, well, for sure. Well, we have different types of influencing.
Yeah.
We have, like, Leandrin who influences people by pain power, but then specifically the just, like, talking and getting the answers you want.
Yeah, her influence, like, getting the
like,
right...
is this, can you confirm for me, is this what Moiraine can do? Is it similar?
So,
is it
okay,
this exactly? Or is it a less powerful version of this?
Yeah, so this is what I'll confirm, is that we can assume that the Forsaken know the exact formula for proper weaves because they're, like, from a superpowered Age of Legends. They know how to do shit.
Right.
And what we have now is a watered-down version of Aes Sedai who just kind of figure things out for themselves. So what we have heard is that Aes Sedai who are Wilders typically have like a neat little trick they figure out on their own. How to influence Dad to do what they want. Right? Stuff like that. Like little things we've heard.
Moiraine has like figured out her eavesdrop
on people. So it's like you figure out these little tricks. And
figured out the healing because that's like the role she was in.
Exactly. So it's like we have the Leandrin, the Moiraine, the Nynaeve situation where they figured out tricks, but it's a very watered down version, and we can assume that what this Forsaken has is this is the actual formula of how to make someone do what you want.
Right.
And what we have Leandrin do is like, if I do the right thing, I can get her to probably do something similar
and
to what I want.
And same with Moiraine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be nice to them or whatever, get them to tell me information. So it's like, probably compulsion is like the heavy hitting, you do what I say, which makes sense in what happens when she walks in, embraces the source, and then immediately Elaine drops the source and is like, they do whatever she wants now. No fight, no nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
MIB little flasher memory wiper thingy.
Yes.
Like, we get the whole 9
Right,
yards.
because she basically creates a story that they'll remember after she leaves, and she's gone.
The gas from Venus refracted.
So there's a fake memory in place. They continue on their earlier conversation, but sort of confused about it. They don't remember her being there at all.
Memory wipe.
Well, they remember there was someone in there, but it was like...
It's the implanted memory that she told her.
Yeah.
It's literally like Men in Black style.
Right.
Like implanted memory, this is what you're going to remember.
Right. And so we leave on them being a little bit confused, continuing their conversation about the stuff that's going to hurt Rand.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Then we get a perspective change back to Aegyanin spying on Bail Doman's men to see if there's anyone there who she recognizes who's going to recognize her from back when she took his ship.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them would because it's so out of context.
Yeah. And he's got a way bigger crew now, so...
Yeah, it's way different.
Yeah.
And so she's heading away from the inn. Aegyanin thinks about her interactions with the Aes Sedai. Definitely not what she expected. Also, like, new information that channeling can be learned. It's a big FD.
It's a whole bunch of new stuff for her.
Big fucking deal.
And we kind of, like, get a weird perspective shift. It's weird.
Because it's not explicit.
And it's different than we've seen.
It's like someone watched her go.
Yeah.
And he broke someone's arm earlier.
And she didn't see this guy watching her, and this is what he's doing now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like... Oh, he also has a glued-on mustache.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this might be the guy from before who showed up to question her.
The Seeker?
Yeah.
You think it's that guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think his job is to sort of, like, keep tabs on her.
I mean, that was the thing, is, like, she doesn't see this guy dressed as a filthy poor person in Tenchiko.
Of course not.
And then he's the one who broke the guy's arm that we saw before, which is why it was important.
Yeah,
because,
I just don't know anything about Tenchikins, not Tenchikins, about this Seeker guy.
Yeah,
and if he would be allowed to just, like, break someone's arm.
Well, this is the thing. The guys whose arms he broke,
was a poor
that
person.
guy, it was one of the blood. The beggar was one of the blood who was, like, put into a position where he had to beg for money.
What do you mean one of the blood? Like a Shanshen?
Yes, because in his thought process...
that.
Yeah, so the guy says, in his perspective, the beggar was one of the blood reduced to begging and without enough honor to open his veins. So the guy broke literally one of the Shanshen blood's, like, arms because he didn't have the honor to kill himself instead of becoming a beggar.
Like, Seekers are, like, the, like, family of justice or whatever
exactly.
it is.
He's
so
like,
it's probably that guy.
Yeah, it's like that guy should have killed himself instead of becoming...
I didn't pick that up.
Yeah,
interesting.
It's like, yeah,
I read that last paragraph probably 8 full times.
Yeah.
And I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, again.
Am I bad at reading?
I'll just read it real quick. Aginin had nearly spotted him when he had forgotten himself enough to break that fool's arm. One of the blood, as such things were reckoned in these lands, reduced to begging and without enough honor to open his veins. Disgusting.
Gross.
How dare you beg for money?
Okay. Well, then that's probably who this is.
Okay.
Or it's someone. It's someone spying on her from Shanshen. For sure.
There you go. It's somebody.
But specifically...
A Shanchenian.
Yeah.
Shanchenian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that actually went on a little longer than I thought it would.
There was a lot, yeah.
There's a lot of interesting speculation. I think that we mentally are used to the last 2 episodes were shorter chapters where there could be lots of speculation.
Yeah. But here's the thing. We're like 10 chapters away from the end of this book.
I know.
Like, we're almost done The Shadow Rising. Mm-hmm. It's almost done.
I know. I'm hoping, like... I know I predicted that there wasn't going to be, like, this whole, like, wonderful ramp up at the end, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, well,
because it's like, oh...
We're getting there. We're, like, in there. We're in the end game.
We're in the end game.
Let's do it.
Okay. Of the Forsaken names I know, can I predict who this is?
Sure, yeah. Okay, go.
So we know Asmodean is a dude.
Yep.
We know Ravine is a dude.
Yep.
And the only other one I know from that list you said is Moghedian. And we know that that's a female, so that's my logically pieced together. That's who this is.
Love it. Good logic. It's good.
Okay.
That's good. I like that.
All right. And I think we're going to end this recording.
Yes.
We're going to end this episode so I can keep reading.
Yeah.
That's exciting. For a little while, it hasn't been that exciting.
I mean, that we've got a new Forsaken here, too, besides Lanfear.
I know. I know. New baddies. None of them are working together. It's terrible for them.
Oh, I mean, some of them. We've seen, like, dream sequences of people working together.
No, we've seen dream sequences of people arguing.
That's true. That's working.
Okay. With that being said, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Vince Lewick, Michelle O'Brien, Sarah Wyatt, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, and Giannis. With music by Audionautics.com. If you're interested in some of our Wheel Weaves merchandise, such as shot glasses, frosty mugs, t-shirts, hats, and more, you can head over to newcreationsbyjen.com, and we are located in the groups or collections section. If you're interested in supporting us and helping us to make really great content, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast, and you'll also get access to some really great bonus content like early access to our regular episodes, bonus episodes, unedited video episodes, access to our live recordings, monthly Q&As, and more like stickers and keychains. Don't forget to find us on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at The Wheel Weaves Podcast. We'd also love for you to join the conversation over at our Discord, and you can find the link to that in our bios on those social medias. We'd love for you to tell a friend about us. Referrals really are the best compliment. We'd love for you to leave a review and subscribe. That really does make a huge difference. Thanks so much again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.